This is episode 25 of What's Been Better. This week, we're talking about recurring thoughts. Whether you're ruminating on a conversation from last week or a lesson you learned 5 years ago, making the space and time to sit with ourselves isn't a task for the weak hearted. To all those with the sensitive ears, we cuss a little for emphasis, not harm. Okay, so this show's going to be a little special because today we are joined by, what should I call you? Am I going to call you my travel partner or my teammate or my husband or my person?
You this it's on you.
Okay, well, he's all those things. So this is Andrew.
Hey, Andrew.
Howdy ho.
Hi.
All right. All right. It's nice to see you, sir.
You too. I
Yes.
feel like the one time when we met on Zoom or whatever is like it was just like a quick in passing.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm used to hearing your voice but not seeing your face.
Oh,
So this
wow.
is interesting.
Oh, wow. And you got me really raw, man. Like, no makeup, no nothing. It's just, I came from outside working in the yard. I said, oh, shit. It's 4:25 because I set my alarm. And so I said, okay, I'm going to give myself 10 more minutes. But 10 more minutes turned into 30 minutes. And I was like, oh,
That's how it
I got to
goes.
run and take a shower. So I need an extra 30 minutes. But I'm come out all clean. I got deodorant on. But
That's good.
you
That's
know,
good.
That's good.
I'm just, you got me full on uh real raw Lori.
There we go.
Understood.
You
All
planting
right.
more trees or are you done with all the trees?
All the trees are done.
Whoa, so
77.
77?
That's a lot
Mm-hmm.
of trees.
Yeah. It's
Wow,
gonna
she
be a
thought it
big
was going to be
ass.
100.
Yeah. It's a big ass
Wow.
forest back there. And they're so tiny right now. And when I see these Leland, because they're Leland cypress trees, them motherfuckers get big. They
Yes.
get big. And when I see them in other people's yards as big as they are, I'm like, oh my goodness. Our yard is gonna get like this. It's like this, but it's gonna do just like that. Because
So
it's
do
So
they
wide.
have enough space? Like, are they going to grow together?
Oh yeah, that's the plant. The whole plan. I want them to be a row of trees that become a fence.
mm,
Okay. So
So
kind of
you
like
just have to.
us trying to put the ivy through the
hmm
fence and like the jasmine on the
okay.
fence.
But what kind of
Yeah.
like are these like evergreens or are they
Yes,
okay?
they're
They're
like
like
big
the
ass
pointy
Christmas
ones.
trees.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yes, they're
Yep.
gonna be huge. In fact, they grow anywhere from 30 to 40 feet.
Oh wow.
How long
Yeah.
does it take them to get like fully grown? Like,
7 to 10 years.
Oh, this is an investment.
oh,
Oh,
okay.
absolutely, sir. And one day we saw a deer outside looking like they were about to nibble on my tree. I was like,
hmm
oh, heavens to Betsy, no. Oh, no, that's not going to happen. You're not going to be out here nibbling my trees.
Oh,
So,
wow.
so I
Wow.
won't tell, truth about what happened to one's leg. But
Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
yeah, well,
Well, it's okay. We're at war with rodents in our garden right now, and we're not about to let these motherfuckers win at
thank
all.
you. Thank you. That's all I'm saying. So, well, I'm going to
So,
start. Sylvia, what's been better with you?
what's been better? Finished the 8 foot garden bed, the raised bed, all by myself.
Yay. Okay.
That was great. Managed to almost not finish it, but I got it finished. So
Nice.
that was good. Um, the lady that I started the garden for, her little sprouts have started sprouting. And so
Oh,
she's already sent
nice.
pictures. So that was like good
Oh,
and part relief of like,
yeah.
oh, thank God.
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't know if it's going to work
Yeah.
ever, as
Yeah. You're always
plants will
hoping
do.
for the best.
Right. And plants will do whatever they feel like doing. So, yeah, that's
That's,
what's been
yeah.
better.
Yeah. Well, Drew, I'm going to jump in there and ask you, and then I'll just end with myself. What's been better for you?
I don't know. To be completely honest. There's a lot. There's a lot going on. I will say what's been better is I don't know, really, to be honest. To be honest, I don't know. It's always dealing with a lot of different things. I'm trying to juggle a lot. Um, So
Okay.
to be honest, I don't know what's been better. I know a lot's going on, but I don't know
Right.
what's been better.
I'm glad you answered like you did, because that's really good. Because if you don't necessarily know the context of when we say what's been better, it's good to answer in that perspective. Because like, what the fuck? I don't know. What's been better? Better than what? Better than when?
Right.
But I will say, whenever I have a client, the first time I don't ask them that. I'll ask them, how can I help them? Right. And so the next session, based on the issues that they brought to the table, I will say then, what's been better? Because life is better. Life is always better. But if we're not in tune to what's better in our lives, we don't focus on it. We focus a lot on what's wrong in life, what's not going well. And like my fiance, sometimes he says, what's wrong? And I used to get extremely offended. I'm like, dude, ain't that wrong? Like, why something got to be wrong? And I'll try to coach him to say, well, what's going on? Because then you'll get more of that, instead of what's wrong, because there's not always what's wrong. Right. But a lot of times clients come into an office or the session with what's going wrong, because they want you to fix it. So when I ask what's been better, they start to shift and practice thinking about a better life, because all of us want a better life.
Right.
I get that. Yeah.
So from that premise, when you think about some shit that's been going on in your life, what's been better?
Okay. From that premise, what's been better? So there have been, trying to do a lot of different things, and you kick ideas around. But I think I've gotten a few ideas that I want to put into practice just to see if they work.
Nice.
So.
Okay. And tell me what difference that's making for you.
It gives a little bit of hope. It gives a little bit of like, kind of like a little, let's give this a shot, as opposed to like, okay, all right, we've been down that road. Nope, can't do that. Can't do that. Can't do that. So it opens the door a little bit to new opportunities.
Nice.
So yeah.
That's what's up.
What's been better for you, Lori?
So I feel like I'm not sick anymore.
Yay.
Let me tell you, I have a strong appreciation for feeling good. Because when you don't feel good, you don't feel good.
Right.
True.
And you miss feeling better. You almost wonder, am I going to feel better? That's a weird feeling. And so I feel better and I'm so happy. So I have another reason to be thankful for feeling better. And that's good. I've got a lot of clarity on things. That's a lot better. I'm learning a lot more every single day. So, and I feel it. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Well, recurring thoughts. So starting all this was interesting because I had already started having this conversation with Drew and Chris from our breakthrough episodes.
Right.
Because I talk to them every day, just about.
Okay.
Not like long, in-depth conversations, but when I do, like it is, I got to take some notes all the time.
Oh, neat.
So to get a text from you to say, let's do an episode about this, I was like, oh, I was already having this conversation. Let's see where this conversation goes. So,
okay. What was the gist of your conversation as it related to reoccurring thoughts?
Was it you or was it Chris?
It was me.
It was you?
Yeah,
okay. Because you're a ruminator, what do you say? You mine your mind?
I'm constantly mining my thoughts and like things that I've done, why have I done it, yada yada yada. But I've gotten to a point where it's like I think I kind of understand myself enough to not have to do that as often. But so the thought was I was talking to both of them and
who?
Chris and Sylvia.
Okay.
And there used to be this thing that I would do that wasn't a nice thing. If someone made a mistake in my presence and they were what I considered to be my inner circle, I would just basically, under my breath, loud enough for them to hear me, I would just say, dumbass. It's
You are
so
laughing now, Lori. It's not funny to be on the other
Let me
receiving
tell
end
you,
of
I
dumbass.
absolutely know this. That's why I'm laughing. Keep going.
so we were having a conversation, and one of the two of them brought up that I used to do this.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought about it and I was like, oh, was I toxic then? Um, I don't know if I was or wasn't. I just know I wasn't being nice. But I
At
guess
least you knew that. How did you know that? And I'm glad that you said this. Oh my God, I got so many questions for you, Drew. Oh my goodness. Keep going.
how did I know that I wasn't being nice?
Yeah. How did you know that what you were saying was not nice?
Well, in that moment, I don't think I cared if I was nice or not.
Okay.
This is me 20 years later
Right. Right.
thinking about it and thinking
Mm-hmm.
about like the look on their faces or like their actions afterward. I could tell it was like, oh, yeah, I guess I could have gone about that a different way. I could have said it a different way. But I still, part of me still stands by it.
I get that you stand by it, but at least
Stand
you
by what?
realize that, like,
This the fact that I would do it.
Oh, would you
Like
do it now?
yes.
I wouldn't do it the same way.
Okay. How would you do it differently?
Um, First I'd be like, yo, what was that about? Or something to that effect. And it's like, yeah, we got to do better. Like, like we can't make those kind of mistakes, silly mistakes, especially like we don't have the time or the luxury to do that. We got to do better.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I would do now.
Okay, so you add context to it, a little bit more love and compassion to it.
Right. Right. As
Okay.
opposed to just like, yo,
Dumbass.
right.
Right.
And so I would do it and like I didn't think anything of it. And part of me still doesn't want to think of anything of it. Like, but I know because it's 20 years later and both of them have brought it up that I would say it is like maybe I was a little bit toxic. And I don't know how to feel about that.
I don't know
Okay.
if it was as much as it's toxic as it had lasting effects. Like,
Okay.
Okay.
Chris and I make the joke of like, we try to like do the right thing, not make any mistakes because we're like, we don't want another dumbass.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we literally said, I think that's what we said was like, we were both like, we can't have him call us a dumbass today. Like,
Which
Okay.
could cause reoccurring thoughts. You see what I'm
yes,
saying? That's interesting.
yes.
So where are you today as far as like, are you about to put that to rest
Oh,
or
I put it to rest a long time ago.
oh, you don't even say it anymore?
Nah, I don't say it at all.
Do you think it?
Not the words, but his face says it. His eyes say it.
Apparently my face says it.
Do you think it still?
No, I don't.
Really?
I don't. I just like
What are you thinking now?
when somebody makes a mistake or somebody does something that I think is like, whoa, like that was so simple. Why'd you do that? I just think it was like, whoa, okay, that's on you. It's like I've gotten to the point where it's like it's no longer about building in because all right, let me give a little context.
Mm-hmm.
Northeast Ohio. I'm from Northeast Ohio, and
Mm-hmm.
everybody like my mom's side and my dad's side of the family is still sharp and still.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like there's love, but it's not like openly, like lovey dovey. It's just like we give love by giving you pointers or like
You have to be very, very tough
Okay.
to enter into both
Right.
sides of that family. But I feel like it's two kinds of tough.
Oh yeah,
Okay, so
they are two different types of tough. But
Yeah.
what is
so
your thought?
you said sharp. Did you say sharp is steel?
Steel sharpens steel.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So go ahead, Sylvia.
So I think with his mom's side of the family, yes, it's like you have to come in with like the blade under your tongue. Like you have to just be ready. Like
That's a so
yes.
my mom's side of the family, like if you aren't a trained assassin, you don't need to be around us.
Yes.
Mercy.
Like you
Like,
have to be
They'll
able to hold your
eviscerate
own.
you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh boy, they'll
But
body you. Oh my
yeah,
goodness.
body.
Oh my
Easy.
goodness.
You know
Oh
what I'm
my
Yes.
saying?
goodness.
And all sides. Like
But like this is everybody. Like
Mm.
yeah.
my little cousins, like my older cousins, my aunts, my uncles, everybody.
Who
His
Like we
started this?
grandmother, God rest her soul,
So
even
did
his
grandma
grandmother.
start this?
yeah, grandma started this. So like grandma, she watched everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like this was
Mhm.
she basically babysat everybody in the neighborhood. And she took delight in giving you your first whooping.
Oh dang.
So
She
like,
was she was one of them initiators. You remember
yeah,
in the
no,
fraternity sorority, she
oh no,
probably was the
no, oh
first one to talk to you.
legit.
Uh,
Like she had a paddle. She had a paddle, like
uh
as if this was a fraternity or sorority.
yeah.
And your first whooping, she carved your name into the paddle.
Whoa.
Like this is like legit. Like you know what I'm saying? Like tried and true. That's what I'm saying. Like the steel start sharpened steel.
Wow.
Like
How is your
trained as us.
dad? How's his family?
My dad's side is they are very they're very smart. They are very they think everything through. They love history, but at the same time, being from that same kind of area, there's like, like, hey, we will coach you through everything behind the scenes. When you go out into the street, into the world, you got to perform because you're one of us.
Yes.
Ah, and so if you
So
don't, then what? You get the bee's knees too. You get beat. You get bodied.
Nah,
Okay.
nah, you
no.
don't get bodied. Um, I don't even know how to describe it. It's not like a actual punishment. It's
Okay,
it's
wait. Let me explain it from being on the outside.
okay.
So his mom, like I said, you got to come with a switchblade under your tongue. And
Mhm.
his dad's side, you have to come with like a resume and references
Yeah.
and actual products, and you
It was
have to
like
be
being
like
on Shark Tank.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
You
you got to
seen
come
like an
with
episode of Shark
receipts.
Tank where they're like, we
Uh-huh.
want proof of concept.
Yeah.
We want
They
to
want
know.
yeah,
Mhm.
they want receipts.
Yeah.
Yes. So
Mhm.
it's like if you don't have anything to offer, you're just
Then
not even worthy of their time.
okay, so do they ignore you or what? Do they just not say
I
nothing
bring
to you?
enough to the table, so I'm fine.
So
Okay, awesome.
so the people that yes, they might ignore you. Or just maybe not ignore you, but they're not gonna give you a good listen.
Right. You don't
Um,
No.
get any credibility with them. Like,
nah,
No.
if you
like
talking, they might be listening to something else, or they
they
might be.
might be listening to something else or start a whole nother conversation on top of you.
Or get
Oh,
up and walk out.
oh
And
my God.
yeah, like you have to
Yeah.
have
To the
a
point
true
where
background with
like
them.
my brother and I, when we would take somebody new over one of my uncle's houses, like, look, before we go in there, I need you to know what you want to do with your life. No, 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 no. This is not a joke. Like this is
Oh my
legit.
goodness.
Like,
Oh my goodness.
what do you want to do as a profession? He gonna ask you, and you better have a good answer, or we're not leaving to go to the party. I'm just telling
Oh,
you now. He either
we.
gonna get either you come in with your life together, or he gonna help you get your life together.
I
And
kind of like that.
I don't feel like sitting here waiting till you get your life together.
But right. So you bet listen, you better figure that shit out now, or you're not coming in my
Right,
house.
Yes.
Just meet me at the party.
right,
Yes. Because I will
exactly,
leave you so that way you can work that out with him.
right.
That is hilarious.
Yes.
Now,
So
so then the dumbass comment, right?
yeah,
Growing up, it came not growing up, but as you said this to your friends, it came or rooted from what your mom's side of the family mainly?
no, it came from my dad.
Really
Yeah, this
Whoa.
came from my dad.
Okay.
would
How?
never have equated that on
Oh
your
no,
dad's
no,
side.
it came from my dad, not from my dad's side. It came from my dad.
Okay.
Uh,
Is it
We are
okay?
learning together, Lori.
Okay.
so my dad, when you would make a mistake, uh, let's say you didn't do something or you spilled something, he would call you a simpleton or a thickhead,
Ooh.
or he'd be like, thickhead boy, like, so he would say or do something to that effect where you knew it was like, oh, I messed up. Won't ever make that mistake again.
Wow.
So I think it literally came from my dad But by this point in time, like I'm tried and true by myself. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I'm add a little spice on it.
Right. So you leveled up.
Oh, I leveled
You
all the way up.
Came from your mom's side.
Right.
So
Wow.
no, like my mom, it wouldn't that verbal assault, not from my mom's side. Like
Okay. It's
that's
just it
not.
comes straight from your dad. So even your
Yeah.
dad's side, they probably wouldn't say dumbass.
No, because they aren't
That's
cussers. They
okay.
aren't
It's
cussers.
dad.
Like
And dad didn't say dumbass either. That was
no.
your
Yeah.
graduated spicy version of
Yeah.
simpleton
Right.
and thick-headed.
Right. Right.
Okay. So is mom and dad, are they married?
No.
Okay. And so were they married at all?
No.
Okay, I was gonna say how did they merge together? Like, some couples can come together and they bring a little bit of spice from their one side, and the other one brings it from their side, and they merge, and then it's
Oh,
like a
I
combination of stuff.
I will say I probably am a merger of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
A little context, like both of my grandmas live on the same block.
Whoa.
Like their houses are like technically facing each other.
So
So
do they knew each other then?
yeah,
Oh
yeah, yeah. Both
wow.
sides of the family knew each other. Like they were
Very
like
well.
this. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Like
I like that kind of combination of things. Because your
so.
family is family.
Right. Yeah. So for me, like all of my cousins are cousins.
Oh
It
my
doesn't matter
goodness.
what side of
Right. They
they
all know
are.
each other. It's a whole motley crew
Right.
of mixed.
So
I like
they
it.
all went to school together. Um, like like my cousin on one side and the cousin on another side, like at my grandma's funeral, they're
Mm-hmm.
hugging. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
Like
wow.
they know each other. They grew up with
Yeah.
each other. So it's
That's so
like
cool.
so for me, it was just everybody knew everybody. So it was just kind of like
Yeah.
I got a good mixture of both.
That's so cool. I love that. Where y'all from the country?
Nah, nope.
Okay.
It's not a it's a city, but it's a small city. So
Okay.
I
Yeah,
don't
well,
know.
that can happen in different areas, right? Like,
Right.
so some people, I'm thinking, um, Chicago in that
Yeah.
city.
Yeah.
It could be like that. And
Mm-hmm.
then I'm thinking like say Georgia. Georgia got a lot of little country areas like
Yeah.
Griffin and
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Eatonton and
Mm-hmm.
Marietta. Some areas was kind of countryish back in the
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
day, and families just everybody knew each other,
Right.
and I like that type of connectedness.
Right.
You don't find that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, so it's one of those weird places where it's like the population is not small, but
Mm-hmm.
for whatever reason, the black population is one of those is like when you meet somebody's aunt or grandma or whatever, they ask you who your people are and they gonna
Mm-hmm.
run it down and they be like, oh, you so and so son. It's like,
Right.
oh, okay.
That's huge. I love that because you can't really get away
No, you
when you're
can't.
in that kind of film.
You
You
can't.
you gotta you're gonna be
No.
called on the carpet,
Yeah.
which is interesting. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
glad you shared that because now I have a better, really good understanding of you. And I think people need to just talk to people so they can just understand folks and where they come from. But I can see you in a sense. And kind
Mhm.
of 20 years ago, why you be saying dumbass,
Right. So,
because
but
you
this is, you know what I'm saying? Like, I came from like a village. You know what I'm saying?
hmm
Like, we
right,
we we learned early on, like, okay, these are the things you do, and these are the things you don't do. These are the
right,
things you can experiment with, and these are the things that are hands off.
right, right.
So when I get to college, I already know I have a good sense of the world. And it's like,
Yeah.
nah, you can't afford to make those kind of frivolous mistakes.
Exactly. No, I got one time to get it right.
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 Exactly.
But he has like so much practice. So then comes me and Chris, and we're like, we don't have this kind of practice. Not that we want to
Right.
make these mistakes, not that we're trying to make these mistakes. Like people make mistakes, but it's like, I think a really like something I really, really appreciate about Drew is that if you're in his circle, he wants the best for you and he wants you to be the best.
Right.
And when you don't perform or live up to that, you
Mm-hmm.
know. And so
Mm-hmm.
you're like, oh, not only can you like not let yourself down, but you also don't want to let him down. So I
Mm-hmm.
think that's also why the dumbasses were so like you took them to heart because it's
Mm-hmm.
like you know that it's not just like he's not just being mean,
Right.
but it
He's
is like
right.
It is
Right.
a
Something
harsh
is
way to
going on.
say
It's
it.
almost like he's a coach or something. It's like, look at
Yes.
you. Look at you over there not representing. Look at what you doing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. You make me look bad. I don't think that,
Exactly. Like our crew is not looking good right now because you are out here
Yeah.
making mistakes
Yeah.
that we should already know. But I
Yes.
think
So,
he's now learned of like, oh, people, not everybody knows what I know. Not
right.
everybody has the practice that I had. So
Right.
I
Right.
think
So
that was a lesson.
yeah. So seems like compassion kind of came over you over the years. I don't know. But
Uh, yeah, I guess some compassion. Some of it's just maturing. It's like
mm-hmm.
you understand that it's not just how you view things. It's everything's connected. People are going through their own thing.
Yeah.
You start to understand like it's bigger than just what's going on right now, right here, this moment.
That's huge. Yeah.
So I started to give people breaks because I realized I needed breaks. It's like,
Whoa, how did that happen? Because that's the kicker. Because, and I'll just tell you, and I think you already know this, so it's just neither here nor there. To call somebody dumbass, you straight judging them, right? And so we judge because we've been judged and we've been taught to judge. And we don't realize the deleterious effects of judging someone with punitiveness. Dumbass. You know, because we don't know how the other person is receiving it unless
right.
you think about how you received it when you were called not charlatan, but simpleton. Like how did you feel when your dad used to say those things to you?
It would me personally, I don't know about my siblings. It lit a fire under me, and it's like if I was bigger, I'd fight you.
Right. So you were angered.
It was angering, but it also was one of those was like I will show you that I'm better.
Right. I can show you better than I can let this anger
Right.
take
Well,
the best.
yeah, I don't know
Or
about that.
it was a combination.
It was a
You tell me.
combination. So it was
Okay.
like I used all of that as fuel. Like if I
Okay.
was upset, I would internalize and use that as fuel.
Okay.
So
Okay, and that's how you got through.
yeah.
Did that get less and less? Was it your determination to be like, you're not gonna call me this again?
No, because you didn't make the same mistake twice, ever.
Okay, so it was
Like,
always something different. So you were called simpleton about some of everything.
well, I never got simpleton.
Oh, what did you get?
I got thick head.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Because I
Okay.
do have a hard head. Like I'm not going to listen to you if I don't think that you are right.
And that's okay. I love that.
But
And
this is me in the fourth grade. You know what I'm
that's
saying? Like
so. But you
that's
know what? That was good because you were constantly scrutinizing in your head to say, I don't know. Well, you
yeah.
need to show me.
Yeah.
I'm not going to just take what you, but I think if parents really looked at their children's strengths, they wouldn't call them thickhead, you know? See,
No.
now I'm just going into the damn, the issues in how us as parents, sometimes we'll do that and we'll call each other, our children thickhead or say certain things. But the truth is they being just like you.
True.
And that's
Yeah.
not a terrible thing. Like,
True.
you need to be a thickhead. What if you just accepted every damn thing?
Right. Very true.
Right.
What would your life be like today?
Right.
That or like expecting a kid to know things and you're the one that taught them.
Yeah.
You didn't teach them yet. So how are they supposed to know?
How they gonna know?
I don't have all the lessons yet because we haven't gone over this part. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what's so interesting, Drew? I bet you your thick-headedness has done some major things for you in your life.
Oh, yes.
Was like what?
Like anything, everything. So to get into I'm sure this has been talked about before about me being in architecture.
Not in like great detail.
I mean, it doesn't have to be in great detail.
Okay.
But like, I don't know what the number is now. But the percentage of Black architects, licensed architects, is 0.2 of the population of architects. 0.2.
I'm sure.
For Black women, it's 0.02
I'm
of
sure.
architects. So growing up, wanting to get into architecture, this is not something that somebody can say, oh, I know an architect that you can talk to to help you, navigate this world. You go alone with no guidance. You have to either, which you can find, you use and you keep, or so you have to almost be hard headed. You almost have to be, I don't know what the proper word is, but like you have to go on faith, and therefore, if someone tells you you can't do it, you got to just,
like tunnel vision or something like that.
Tunnel vision without any background of anybody has ever done this before.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
You just got to go from your own script. You
right.
just got to.
So you kind of got to be hard headed. You got to be hard headed because everyone can tell you, oh, you can't do this, and like by evidence sake, they're right. They don't know any Black architects.
Right. And if you go off of that, you never become one. So that is huge. I mean, I could talk. Sylvia, we could talk for hours, man. This is awesome. Yeah. This is awesome because there's so many levels to this and so many layers. Yeah. And it sounds like also a breakthrough in some ways because he came from this name calling kind of thing to where it's a little there, but it's really more, it sounds like from love than I'm just trying to dog you out. Is that where you are now?
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't, so. I don't know if I ever meant to dog a person out.
Okay.
I think it came off that way.
Okay.
And I try not to, even like in arguments, I try not to say things that I don't mean or things that I can't take back. Like, it's just one of those, like.
That's nice. Yeah.
Which is very difficult to argue with him.
How's that?
Because when you're arguing with someone, you're expecting the low blows. You're expecting all of the blows to come.
Yeah.
And arguing with him is he's gonna make you say all the things.
Oh. If you feel it, get it off your chest.
Oh shit.
Yes.
Are you a taunter? Is that what I hear?
I don't know. I don't think I'm a taunter.
No.
But if we're going there, I want to hear your grievances. I need to know like where you stand, where you feel, how you feel, because I need to know whether or not we need to continue down this road again or not.
Okay. Do you share what you feel too?
I try to share along the way. Like I try not to hold on to it and just
okay. So you do
assault.
say it along the way without, okay, cool. Not just holding it in.
No, because I hate when it's done to me.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like, and I also, if I'm getting it while you're angry and upset, I'm not gonna use nothing you said.
Okay, I like that.
So I know myself enough to was like, hey, if you have an issue with me or something I've done, you need to tell me not too long after I did it. Because
I like that.
if you wait too long, then I'm gonna just be like, oh, you just angry or frustrated or whatever, and I clearly didn't do anything. It's on you now.
Wow, I like that. That's a nice boundary. See, that's an awesome perspective to have. What do you think about that, Sylvia?
It's stressful as fuck.
But why is it stressful? Because you have to like articulate it.
Yes, because if you are a person who ruminates, if you are a person who thinks before they speak, who is very much in their head and wants to get it right, having any kind of grievance with him is hard as fuck. It's super hard.
Do you write it down sometimes?
I have before.
Okay.
But it's a point of like also, for as much as I talk a lot. It is very difficult. It's not that much anymore, I wouldn't say, to air my grievances with him because he's gonna be like, so keep talking. And you're like, I don't want to keep talking. I just said what I said. Like I just wanted to just make the blanket statement and be done. And he's like, no.
There's no blanket statements. It's like
there's something behind it.
There's something behind it. I need to know. You can't give me a blanket statement without an action item.
I like it. I allow it.
If you're going to be critical of me, I need you to tell me what I did, why, like how I did it, so I can at least attempt to fix the situation.
Right, because otherwise, what's the point of saying it? Are you just trying to complain or what?
Exactly. If it's a complaint or you just want to vent or whatever,
right?
You can do that. and I'll let you vent, but you can't vent to me about me.
Okay.
I need you to, if you're going to talk to me about something I've done, I need to know what I've done so I can at least attempt to
Make it right.
either make it right or think about how I feel about it. Like,
Right.
is this something that I care that much about?
There,
Interesting.
that
Like to
part.
get your perspective. Like, would you like my perspective on this? So it
No,
can
Sure.
not
help
even like to
help
get it.
the
Oh, I'm
uh
sorry. Go ahead.
so you're not saying to get your perspective to see if that whole thing even holds weight?
Some of it is yes, because I want to
Okay.
do better. I always
Okay.
want to grow and be better.
Okay.
There's a few years ago I came across this thing. It's rumored that the CEO of Toyota at the time said um, it was a philosophy that they came up when they called it Kaizen, um, meaning there is no best, there's only better. You can only do better, you can only be better at that point in time. So if it's even like LeBron versus Jordan, Kobe, whoever, right? Only one of them can be better than the other in that given moment. And you could really always argue, like, oh, well, so and so had a sprained ankle or whatever, whatever. It doesn't matter who was better that day. That's what, you know what I'm saying? Like, you always are constantly evolving, trying to be better, trying to get better. Um, so I came across that and I internalized it. So it was like,
That's
okay,
huge. I
cool.
like it. And I think that might be the premise too of I know it's my premise about what's been better because
Mm-hmm.
every day we're getting better.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I
Hmm.
say, I don't say best, but
Mm-hmm.
I will say I'm doing my best at being better,
Mm-hmm.
Right.
which is the thing. I don't know if Sylvia told you about the four agreements, but
Yes.
I actively use those four agreements in my life. And the fourth one is to do your best.
Mm-hmm.
And all you have is that
Right.
moment by moment.
Mm-hmm.
And that will help you get better and better. So I love that concept. It's huge.
Mm-hmm.
So
But
um
okay,
go
wait.
ahead, Sylvia, because I was
So
going to kind of jump back into recurring thoughts. But before I do that, I want to.
so let me say this in terms of like arguing with him and him saying like if it's something that you're critical of him about and it's something that's like I can't deal with whatever the thing is that he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he's like he wants all the details because he has to think about is he even going to change? Is he even willing to change? Does he even care about changing? Because he's like, that's how you feel. That's not how I feel.
That's
Yeah.
interesting.
Which is super difficult.
Okay, so hear me out on that one.
Okay.
Just because I said something a certain way doesn't necessarily mean that you took it the way I said it.
True.
So I need to know what was going on, where were we, what were we doing, how long ago was this? Give me all the who, what, when, where, why.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need to know how you feel yet. Give me all of the who, what, when, where, why. Then, okay, let's get to your feelings because I need to know like where we were and what I was doing. Okay, now how were you feeling? Okay, oh yeah,
Wow.
I probably shouldn't have said X, Y, and Z. Or it's like, nah, that's on you. You took that the wrong way. So,
Oh,
like,
okay. Yeah. I like it. I like it. That's that what we call for Sylvia to air her grievances very soon after the grievance has been
Which
committed.
is difficult because if you're trying to put the words together and
Mm-hmm.
they don't come easily, and he's like,
Mm-hmm.
no, tell me now, then
Yeah,
this is how for years it would lead to just cry fest.
I hear you.
Because I
Are you?
can't, I'm
Yeah,
frustrated and can't get the words out.
yeah. Are you better?
Yeah, now,
Okay.
years of practice.
but I mean,
Well.
it was Cry Fest. It was also just like those were when it would spill over is when we would have an argument. Like
Yeah,
I would say,
Mm-hmm.
like we don't argue very often.
no.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
but that's when the spilling over it would happen and it would be an argument, and it is like I can't do anything with what you got going right now because you're talking about something that I did 3 months ago.
Yeah.
I'm not even that same person anymore.
Yeah, and did that same thing happen again? Because if that same thing happened again, then it happened, and it's not 3 months ago. It's now.
Right.
So then,
Sometimes, but yeah, most times
right.
no. I mean,
Okay.
most at the when we at like the peak of us arguing was the peak of me teaching in places that I shouldn't have been teaching in.
I hear you. And that can
So
happen too.
right. So it was just spill over from
Hmm.
work and he would be like, you're not mad with me.
Right.
But
Which
this is me knowing it's like I haven't seen you all day. I ain't
which
seen you all
which is
day.
kind of like last week about roadway rage. Like that
Yes.
displaced anger. So, so you
Mhm.
gonna come and give me what you mad about?
Yes.
You think that's right?
Mm-mm.
So that's good stuff. And I would love to, I think it would be good for us to talk about certain couple stuff, you know, to see how you as a couple work together in some of the things that you grew up with, Drew, and some of the things you grew up, Sylvia, and how y'all both managing that in your married life. I think
Ooh,
that would be interesting to talk about, and then get more couples to kind of jump in and talk about that
okay.
because
Something to
because
think
you're
about.
right, because you're still working it out, and those things that you kind of clash with a little bit, it didn't end you,
No.
it just made you better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that's huge.
It's
That's
a
huge.
lot of years of practice also and a lot of years of like patience on both ends, but I think more patience from you with me because you already had yourself figured out. You already had done all the data mining.
Yeah.
I'm just starting to data mine.
But
So it's
this
Well,
like
you
is
patience in you to be like, you know what, just figure yourself
Well,
out.
he had EB the boy in one side of the family, and then he had Sojourner Truth in them on the other side of the family.
very
Right.
So,
true.
like
Yeah.
he had
Right.
to, he
Yeah.
had to that
Yes.
he gonna get tongue lash, eliminated intellectually.
Yes.
He was just literally gonna get the damn beat down. He
Right.
was running from his life from day one.
Yeah.
I mean, it was some of that, but I think because I think I had like all of the stuff that you were going through, but I had it early on. Like I
Right.
had that like third, fourth, fifth grade. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
Yeah.
like all of the subconsciousness or constantly replaying what somebody said, um, all of that happened to me, but it happened super early on. So
Right.
by the time I'm high school, I have my defense mechanisms. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I know how to
Hmm.
dodge and weave. I can see it coming before it's coming. Like
Right.
so I'm
Of
I'm I'm Neo
course.
in the Matrix by that this time. You know what I'm saying? So
Of
Mm-hmm.
course. And I'm glad we brought that back in because I want to find out, Drew, and from you, Sylvia, how how did the ruminating, how did the replaying help you become the person that you are today? Because it could have gone a negative direction to where you had the lowest of self-esteem. You know what I'm saying?
for
So,
me, it was that.
okay.
Um, it was very negative. It was one of those where I did have low self-esteem. Um, we won't get into like all of how it came about, but
Right.
it was there.
Okay.
It was one of those things that it wasn't good.
Okay.
Um, but it also was this thing where it's like at some point in time, I told myself I'm gonna stop caring.
Mm. And what point it was that where you had that thought, I'm gonna stop caring?
Fifth grade.
What happened? Do you know that was that light bulb came on?
um, I do know. I won't say what.
Okay.
Uh, fifth grade. I remember exactly what happened,
Okay.
and I will say I did overreact.
Okay. That can happen.
As a fifth grader, I overreacted.
Mm-hmm.
Um, my mom was upset, and I realized like some part of me was like, yeah, this how this is exploding and coming about. This is not cool. I don't like feeling this way, and clearly it's not helping anybody around me.
Mm.
So
And so,
I just said I'm going to stop caring.
right. And then when you did, what did you notice?
Oh, that everything was easy.
Look at that.
But
It
but
yeah.
this is I understand that as a kid you can easily just cut that off and on.
Yeah.
Like and I'll give you an example of part of what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I had a Mickey Mouse watch. It was a
Okay.
gold Mickey Mouse watch. Love that watch. And so it's a little kid watch. She was walking around, just like I'm
Mm-hmm.
constantly checking time. I don't have no
Mm-hmm.
place to go. I'm a little
Mm-hmm.
kid.
Mm-hmm.
But I always felt like I was late.
Mm-hmm.
I always felt like I was late, like something's going on and I'm not on time for it. So literally fourth grade or fifth grade, I'm constantly checking my watch. Like I'm having like not panic attacks, but like I had like
Anxiety?
this anxiety of like,
Mm-hmm.
oh man, whew, I gotta go hurry up and do whatever. Like, mind you, I'm a child. I don't have a schedule. I don't have any place to be,
Right, right.
but I'm feeling this way.
Mm-hmm.
So part of me not caring is like, okay, I'm gonna stop wearing this watch. Clearly, it's not good for me.
Wow.
So I stopped wearing the
Wow.
watch, and I love the watch. Like I don't
Mm-hmm.
know where the watch is now. We came
Yeah.
like cleaning up recently. I found the box, but the watch wasn't in the box. But anyway,
Recently? How
yeah,
long? You had that box since the fourth or fifth grade?
yes. Now,
What the
mind you,
heck?
now, like that is a feat in itself. Like, so I
Yes, it
don't know.
absolutely is.
That's just on a regular normal person's, right? So for me, I don't know if you and Sylvia have ever talked about this, but like I had moved 20 times while
Mm-hmm.
in like between elementary and college.
Right.
Like I'd moved easily 15, at least
Yeah.
15
Oh
times.
yeah. Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying? It's like because like coming from a military background, like you're
Mm-hmm.
moving every 2 years.
Right.
So for this box to still have made it
I'm telling you, that's a
to
major ass feat. We need to take a moment of silence for that one, for real. It's so serious.
so
Yeah.
yeah, that was a feat in itself. So like coming, we're talking about ruminating, like stumbling across the box made me think about that time and think about that era for me, where it's like where I essentially just stopped caring. Um,
Yes.
but I know as an adult and dealing with so much baggage, like it was easy then because I wasn't carrying a whole lot.
Right.
Um, it's harder now when, as an adult, when you have so much to care about, so many things going on. It's not just your life; it's other people's lives.
Mm-hmm.
It's easier to put that stuff down than it is now, and I understand
Yeah.
that. So I don't want to
Right.
make it seem like it was just like, oh, just stop caring. It's that easy,
No,
people.
but well, it is that easy. It still is. It didn't change. Um, and so I would, oh my God, I want to have some conversations with you, man, because I think this is a good topic to talk about so that we can remember, like you putting that watch on, you recognize, man, I got so much to do, and then when you took it off, you realize you ain't doing that shit. Like I don't have to
Mm-hmm.
stress about that.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder how you can juxtapose that to your life now, and maybe what proverbial or what I don't know, symbolic watch that you put on, if at all, that you feel like if this is happening again, and if you cannot care again, and what difference would that make? If you're feeling like you're caring more now than you
I
did
find
before.
myself in moments where I'm caring or thinking a lot about a particular thing. And sometimes it gives you a little anxiety because it's like, how do I get over this? How do I fix this?
Right.
Um, and it doesn't happen often, but like this is where like these are moments and times where it's like I realize I'm not sleeping well because
Mm-hmm.
it's constantly on your brain.
Right. Right.
Um,
Right.
but at these kind of situations as an adult, to me, the only way out is through. You just gotta get through that initial, like whatever you're going through right now, or whatever the issue is, you either have to solve it or you just gotta keep walking through it and reminding yourself, like, I don't have to hold so much weight on this.
Yeah.
So it might be something as simple as like when I'm listening to uh this Tribe Called Quest, when I'm feeling like this, there's a particular Tribe Called Quest album,
Mm-hmm.
and I have to start off with what was the song? Tribe Called Quest and Faith. Stressed Out.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Faith is singing, I really know how it feels to be stressed out, stressed out. So it's like I start with that song, then I go back into a particular Tribe Called Quest album. And it's something
Okay.
about the rhythm and the beat, and it's just like it lifts me out of that situation.
What's the name of the album? Do you remember?
I think it's the Lower End Theory.
Okay, cool.
I
Because
think
I
it's
pulled
Lower
it up
End
on
Theory.
Spotify right now. Because I'm like,
It's the
I'm
cover
about to.
is it
It's
looks
a
like
person's
a
spine or somebody.
like it looks like a lady crouched down. Move it away. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Yeah.
start off with Stressed Out, go and listen to that album, and by the time I'm finished with that album, I'm coming out of it.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
And so, but
Yeah.
I'm also aware that I'm feeling that way, and I'm going through that, and it's like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
I know now my tips and tricks to get myself jump started to get out of it.
I love it. And so for, our audience, that's the thing too. It's like checking in with yourself when you feel overwhelmed or you feel like something is kicking off and you don't like that feeling. It's kind of like what Drew is saying about something that he's doing. He's using some of the tools that he has. He's listening to a Tribe Called Quest. What else are you doing to kind of walk through? Because he said the only way to get through this is to actually go through it, which I absolutely love. You can't go around it.
No.
Don't medicate it. Don't, just go through
Your
this shit.
meditation.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, I don't meditate often. I
Okay,
don't.
what does that mean? Oh, you said you don't?
I don't.
Oh, okay, okay,
I don't. But I
okay,
know when I need to.
okay, okay. And
So
so that's one of the things that you do. You listen to music. You
yeah.
meditate.
So I will like meditate is more like I guess that some people would do like like they smoke a joint to relax or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Meditating is that spot that is
Mm-hmm.
like I need a quick fix right now.
Right.
So
Okay. Okay.
I'll meditate, um, and that's to try to kind of just like okay, clear my head,
Mm-hmm.
get all of this off of me,
Right.
relax, just like let your shoulders, relax a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
like kind of just like let it like waft off of you. You know what I'm saying? Like I
Nice.
don't know if that's the proper way, but
No,
like
that's good because it's like noticing what you're noticing, and
mm-hmm,
so and if you take the time to do that, you'll notice that some of that, whatever that was on you, is off of you.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like a
So
release of some way. Like
Yeah.
right,
just not throwing it on someone else, but just putting it out into the atmosphere and like
Right.
letting it carry away. I think I don't know which meditation we used to do, but the lady would say, like, you're next to a stream and you put that thing on
mm-hmm,
a leaf and let it float away on the stream. And
mm-hmm,
it just used to
Oh,
make
I
so much
love
sense
that.
because it's
mm-hmm.
like, I don't have to deal with that shit. That shit just floated away
Right.
now.
Yeah,
You're not going
And
to go chase it.
no,
oh my God, yes, that is so awesome. I
mm-hmm,
was at the
So,
dentist the other day, and it kind of reminds me, it's so weird, but this reminds me when they put the little suction in and they just
mm-hmm.
sucked all that shit out. It's like, it's
yes.
just gone. I don't know
Right,
where the
Yeah.
fuck it went. It's just gone. Like I don't have to
right,
deal with it no more. And it's a relief. I'm only focused on the relief of it
mm-hmm,
because
Mm-hmm.
once I'm relieved of the thing that pulls me down, I can do more stuff. I can
right,
get out there.
Right.
I can live a better life because the weight is not on me anymore.
right. And even though it's not physical, like it really does feel like you're weighted down.
Mm-hmm.
You don't like I don't know how to really further like describe it, but like sometimes it's on your chest, sometimes it's on your shoulder, sometimes it's on your back.
Mm-hmm.
And so for me, there's different things that I've noticed. Like for me,
Mm-hmm.
like when I'm feeling stressed, um, I don't know how, but like I hold it in the bottom, like my lower part of my back.
Mm-hmm.
Like even when I'm driving, like the way I sit is
Mm-hmm.
different, and I can
Mm-hmm.
feel it in my lower
Mm-hmm.
back, and
Mm-hmm.
those are the things that are the start for me to start noticing. Like,
Mm-hmm.
all right, what's going on?
Right. I love that. I'm so glad you're tapped into your body. It's so many people that are not even tapped into their body and how they feel.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as that's there, you were like, okay, what's going on? I
Yeah.
love it because then you can get to the bottom of it faster.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it doesn't
Yeah.
have to stay in your body.
No.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a lot of stuff. You know,
Yeah.
you also have your council of people who you like, hey, here's what's going on. Tell me if I'm tripping.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and and for me, it's like I need to discuss it with a few people instead of just like, okay, like this one person is like, oh, you tripping. You know, it's like I need to know, like I need different varying points of view.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Um
Which is
and
good.
so it's kind of like, okay, like, and all of the people that I talk to are completely, they approach things completely different.
Mm-hmm.
So if I get a overwhelmingly like, oh no, you're not tripping, it's like, oh, okay, cool, all right, you
Right.
know. But either way, regardless if I'm tripping or not, um, I still gotta do the meditation, I still gotta do the music, I still gotta do like whatever it is, like I still gotta finish it out.
Mm-hmm. Nice. That's huge. And I'm glad. I mean, as I hear you do that, I'm glad to know that people do that. You know,
Mm-hmm.
that there are people who actually break this down, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and go through and do it. So Sylvia, as you're listening to Drew, like what comes up for you now?
Uh, it's things that like I already have learned from him
Mm-hmm.
and implemented in my own life where he would be like, we need to meditate. So it was
Right.
like something that it would be like we had to do together
Mm-hmm.
that which is very difficult for me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
My brain is always on. I always have like 70 tabs open.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always making lists. Um, so for me to be calm and sit still and hear all the tabs is
Mm-hmm.
very difficult.
Mm-hmm.
But I think as the years have gone by, it's a little bit easier to do,
Mm-hmm.
but it's just not something that I was used to or
Okay.
in practice with.
Yeah.
But I'm also not um, as well versed in like data mining my own brain in
Mm-hmm.
that way.
Mm-hmm.
Like I am a ruminator,
Mm-hmm.
but not from the perspective. Well, no, I didn't used to be. I am now
Mm-hmm.
more from the perspective of like, how do I learn from this?
Nice.
Before it was like, how could I have changed this? What could I have
Okay.
done? I should have done this. Okay, I
Right.
can't do that.
Okay.
And from the perspective of don't do it again, because like he
Right.
said, like we
Mm-hmm.
can't afford to make the same mistake.
Right. Right.
But I think a lot of times because I was still putting myself back in the same situations,
Mm-hmm.
the same mistake was going to come.
I see. I see. So what's different now?
I'm not teaching.
That's beautiful.
Which
But your mindset is different too, though.
and it's different because I'm not in that scenario because
Mm-hmm.
I would constantly run back to
Mm-hmm.
that scenario because that was my safe space.
Ah,
Even though it was
so
dangerous as hell, even
right.
though it
That's
was
what you knew.
never,
Yeah.
yeah, it was what I knew.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's the feeling of like stability and providing your own stability
Yes.
and
Yes.
wanting to feel like I'm contributing or that I'm good enough or that I'm enough
Mm-hmm.
also. So
Yeah.
it's because like he already said, like if you're gonna be in his family, you gotta come to the table with whatever. And you
Right.
have to be able to fend for yourself and you have to
Mm-hmm.
be able to defend yourself.
Right. Right.
And a long time, I mean, I still have my moments of because I don't have a regular 9 to 5.
Mm-hmm.
Now I feel like I'm lacking in that I can't interact or be in those circles because it's like I'm not fulfilling the obligations or the requirements.
Mm.
But
I
this
got so much
is,
to say about that, though.
I'll go for it.
I, you do, though. You are fulfilling these requirements. You doing it even more so.
Really?
Are you putting a financial connotation to this?
Yeah,
Okay, fuck
absolutely.
that. Fuck it. I mean, because you're so much better in your mind. That's so profitable. If you stepped out, like you doing this podcast. That's brilliant.
Yeah, but yes, doing this podcast, helping whoever I hope is helping myself. Yes, but it's like, Shawty can't eat no books.
I mean, there's
like
that.
That's how I feel about it.
I get what you're saying. I understand how you feel. But also the prerequisites are not, they're not actually defined. So some of it is up to interpretation.
Yeah.
And a lot of it is, do you feel like you're doing what you need to do? And if you feel like you're doing what you need to do, then the family gives you a pass, right? But like as a whole, it's all in how you feel about yourself.
All in how you feel
Like
about yourself.
if you feel there's a situation and I told a person, the family will react however you react. If you act like this is a good thing, they will treat it as a good thing. If you act like it's a bad thing, they're gonna tell you that you made all kind of mistakes and yada yada yada. Yeah. So it's all, however the family reacts to it is going to be based on how you go in and you tell them.
Right. Which is so true. And I was just writing about that today. Remember, we talked about we're only in our own world, right? So anybody in our world that interacts with us are interacting with us how we perceive ourselves. It's the weirdest thing, but they show up almost as the antithesis of us in a sense. So whatever you're thinking negatively sometimes about yourself comes through from that person that you're interacting with, because we subtly put it out there. And so if we're confident in who we are, they'll show up as confident in us. And also, if we're showing up as confident in who we are, and then they're showing up lackluster, it might not be because of us. It could be because of how they view themselves. You get what I'm saying? So it's a couple of things that's going on, but we have to remember who we are at all times. And that if anybody's saying anything to us, a lot of times it's a result of what they're thinking about us, but it also could be what we're throwing that direction too. So you just gotta check in with ourselves to find out what energy are we, how are we vibing with them.
Yeah.
Oh.
But yes, attaching so many different things to what all is going on, and I think because those were the requirements and the prerequisites that they started with, or that I thought we started with, or that I was fulfilling, and now that I'm not fulfilling them, it feels like I'm not doing enough.
I feel you. And so I think it goes back to what you believe is enough for you and what works for your marriage. You see what I'm saying? Like, what's enough for the marriage? What's enough for you?
Right.
Because people are going to either send you to the moon or send your ass to hell, like if we allow them to. And some of them ain't doing shit but just talking. They're just talking, ain't been nowhere, ain't going nowhere. Maybe read a few books, and this is anybody, and we have to be careful about how we define ourselves through their eyes. Nobody's going to take us anywhere. We're going to be the ones to move this needle. So, how I talk about zero fucks. I don't give a shit who it is. If it's my mama or the president, I don't give a damn. I have to remember who I am and what I'm doing. Unless you're trying to help me be a better person, then that's it. Otherwise, I can't be concerned about your judgment, because that's what's happening. Most people are judging because that's what we've been taught to do, is judge. So I'm deciding I'm not going to judge myself, but I'm going to do my best, because Sylvia, and I hope that would be for you too. Like, you know what your best is.
Yes, I know what my best is. I have to figure out a way to stop trying to prove it, though.
Right. Because you don't ever have to prove anything, ever. Like that's a principle forever. It'll never change. You don't have to prove yourself to anybody. There's a knowing that's in you, and that's all that matters. Just like I think about Drew. When I think about you, I can imagine you being in 4th or 5th grade. I love when you talk about how the light bulb came on for you. And you like took that watch off. You're like, I am giving 0 fucks now. Like I love it. You proclaimed it. And once you proclaimed that shit, life was different.
Yeah.
And sometimes you might put it on or take it off, but you know how to do that now.
True.
And that's powerful.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, it was, I realized it was like, clearly how I'm reacting to things is not the business.
Right.
Because it was like, and I really wish I could see what was happening or how I was reacting to things as a 4th, 5th grader, because clearly it was like, it wasn't normal, or perhaps it wasn't right. I don't know, but all I know is like, clearly I need to chill.
I love it.
But it's like, all right, okay.
And meanwhile, you figured that out in 4th grade, and I didn't figure it out until 37.
But again,
no, me too. 40 maybe. Like I don't know. It was It was like, you know how you be in that like a old moldy hotel and the light be going off and that's how that's how it was for me, like 10th grade, senior year in college, and then 3 children about to get a divorce, and the light just boom comes on. It's like, damn. So it doesn't matter when it comes on, it's just that it does come on.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yay for the light coming on.
Right.
True. And true indeed. Yeah, because it is one of those, you really do have to, like, okay, take into account. It's like, oh, now that the light is on, oh man, this room is kind of messy. I need to clean up.
Yes,
but I don't think you can clean up until you can see.
Right.
How powerful is that? You don't know what you're dealing with at all.
Right.
You know
What's
going on.
True.
You can't see shit in here.
Right. You keep bumping into this table because
just kept doing that. Or the scales fall off. How are people coming to the light? Like the scales fall off. Oh my God, I can see. Oh, I need to clean some shit up. Like, yes, I love it.
Yeah.
Y'all, it was so awesome having this conversation.
Yes, same. Thank you for coming on and talking with us.
No, not a problem.
I'm shocked that this happened.
Did you learn some new stuff, Sylvia?
Yeah. I think I was thinking about this before. I think I learned something new about him every week. That is shocking because it'll be 21 years next month.
Oh my goodness. Y'all about to be legal drinking age relationship. Okay. Yeah. Relationship 21. That's a smart relationship.
I mean,
y'all smart. I like
it. Through a lot though.
Yes. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, you talk about we were 19 and 20.
Yeah, we grew up together.
We literally grew up together.
Like, I got so many. This got to be a part 2, man.
Okay. I mean,
Drew,
are you
down
up for
with
that?
I'm up for a part 2.
Okay, cool. Because I'm gonna jump into your relationship. I want to know how y'all met. I want to know all the stuff.
Oh, those are diverging stories because we don't agree on it.
So. Okay, well, I would love to hear both of them.
He said there's nothing to agree because his version supposedly is right and my version is supposedly wrong. But
we gonna find out.
Listen, I'm not gonna say nothing.
Okay.
All I know is clearly, I didn't make an impression.
Oh my God!
Oh shit!
Oh Jesus!
And somehow you're married. 21 years.
Mm-hmm.
You made somebody's impression.
We've been married 10 years.
We've been married 10 years. We've been together 21.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna count marriage 21 years. Shit. Why not?
I mean, you might as well. Like,
yeah.
Good grief. But yes, it has been interesting. But I feel like, yes, I have learned something new every week that I thought I had figured out. But do you feel like that? That you learned something new? Or do you feel like you have me just like completely figured out?
I don't have you completely figured out. Like I've said for a while, like given a situation, I know how Sylvia will react. I might not know why she will react that way.
Yeah.
But you give me a scenario and I'm like, oh, this is how Sylvia will react. But then even with that, like how you would react has changed over the years.
Oh.
It's not a blanket statement as to like, oh, this is your default setting.
Okay.
It's like
Right.
you change over the years. It's like, oh no, how she used to react would be this, and how she
Right.
react now is this.
I
Okay.
see you too. I think I'm grown a little bit too since this podcast started, but I
Yeah.
think in this podcast, I think you respond a lot differently too. Like you seem
Yes.
more at peace, you
I
know.
yeah. I have my moments
I
still
hear
to
you.
this day, but very, very different from episode 1 to episode
Hmm.
holy shit 25.
Look at that. Yeah.
How?
Oh, can I say something?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Since we're talking about ruminating, what was it? The first episode of Ghosting? Which episode was that?
Ghosting. The very first episode is when the ghosting started, but yes.
Okay, listen, unpopular opinion. I'm fine with ghosting.
Oh, for real?
I'm fine with it.
Well, I would tell you sometimes
Perfectly fine with it.
sometimes I think you have to for some people. Some people you could talk to. It just
Yeah.
I think it depends on the situation. But some people need to be ghosted. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, wait, before we get off here, I have to ask, so that way this is on here.
Mm-hmm.
You're okay with ghosting. Were you okay with that version of ghosting? You were okay with what happened to me?
Oh, them ghosting the reporter?
Yeah.
Nah, that was foul. Like, I'm saying for myself, I'm okay with ghosting people.
Oh boy. Okay,
But the
that'd be
way
a
he
whole
did it,
nother.
The
would
way
you
the
do
way
it?
it happened to you, no, that was foul.
Would you go somebody like that?
No,
Oh, okay.
no,
See,
no,
yeah. See,
because I
okay.
want you to know
Mm-hmm.
that I don't mess with you.
Right.
I don't
Okay.
fuck with you like that. So I need you to
Mm-hmm.
understand that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So it's
Right.
one of those like, I want you to understand where we stand. That when we were in school, there was a guy. I'm not gonna say his name. Everybody liked this guy. Let me rephrase. All the people from the East Coast like this guy.
Yes.
Everybody who wasn't from like the East Coast, like we're talking New York down to DC, those people like this guy. Um, I did not like this guy
Okay.
to the point where it was like, I need you to know, so you don't be in my space, you don't be in my face. It was like, look, we don't have no beef, but I don't like you. I don't fuck with you like that. And his reply was like, come on, man, everybody like me. And it was like, no, I'm telling you, so you don't get hurt. Because at that point in time, I was bodying people. Like it was
Wow.
like, look, beef, we could have some beef, and I will enjoy the beef. I'll eat it up.
Wow.
And so I was trying to explain to him, like, just stay out my
Right.
circle, stay out my
Right.
way.
Right.
I know you cool with people I'm cool with, but I
Right.
don't mess with you like that.
Right. Right.
And so I want you to know where we stand.
That's what's
So
up. And
I'm not
but you
gonna,
told them then. You told
yeah,
them.
yeah.
Okay.
But this is during my dumbass phase. You know what I'm saying? Like I clearly give no fucks in this portion of my life. I'm telling everybody exactly how I feel about them and where they stand.
Right. Right.
So for that period of time, it was like, yeah, everybody knew if I liked you, if I didn't like you.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's
so
funny.
I still subscribe to that. Like I want you to know where we stand.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as like ghosting, like if you giving off bad vibes or terrible energy or whatever, or you messy. If you messy,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I feel like I reserve the right to ghost you.
Right.
And
Okay.
this is, as you say, like everybody's in their own movie. Like I gotta keep my space safe and sacred. You know what I'm saying? If
That's
you
right.
messy,
Yeah.
I don't need you involved in nothing I got going.
That's so true. I call it distancing myself. That's my new term now, Sylvia.
I like that.
I like that.
I like that.
Distance myself from you.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted clarification because the way you said it, I was like, well, damn, that was
Nah,
a
Right.
whole
how that went about, that was foul.
okay.
That
Right.
was
Right.
it was not only was it foul, it was unprofessional. And I think
Right.
I take professionalism above a lot of other things.
Yes,
Because
very
it's like
seriously.
it's just I don't know how to it just was one of those things that was like super duper unprofessional. It was disrespectful, and also it was putting out into the world like anybody else who wanted, like, let's say like they were going through something, they growing pains and they got everything figured out. Anybody asking for references was like, nah, don't mess with them. And so to me, it was like, you are crippling your situation before you even get started.
Right, right. And that's, I hope you recognize that, Sylvia. And that's the whole point I was trying to get you to make, to see, is just to know, if they do that, it's a reflection of them.
Yeah.
Nobody does that to somebody with good conscience about themselves. They're not going to do it to you.
I think that whole situation, I think I'm good on. Like,
yeah, I'm just so glad, and because that it was just a representation of emotional immaturity. Just lack of decorum. So many things. So yeah.
All right. Well, this was fun. I appreciate you.
No problem.
My person, my travel partner, all those things. And Lori, thank you as per usual. And at least y'all finally got to talk.
Yeah, this was great. Oh, looking forward to chatting some more.
Yes. Well,
same here.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks for listening.
All right. Bye. That's it for this week's show. I'm Lori Scott.
And I'm Sylvia Johnson. And you've been listening to What's Been Better.
A big thank you to Lagan Music Inc. for providing our music. This show is edited and produced by us, with a little help from our family and friends. We love you all.
We want to hear what's been better for you. To be a guest on the show, send us an email to questions@whatsbeenbetter.com. Or you can find us on Instagram and TikTok at whatsbeenbetterpodcast.
Thanks for listening.